My campaign for president, I made a commitment, and I'm honoring that commitment today. Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education.
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it? And yes, I'm giving it away. Remember, share, share, share. And trolls, don't get blocked.
These targeted actions are for families who need it the most. Working and middle-class people hit especially hard during the pandemic.
Let's break something down. What does it cost this government to forgive these student loan debts, both the 10 and 20,000s in this move, but even hypothetically all $1.6 trillion worth? Nothing. The thing is that the moment that these loans are given to students, they're already paid for. There's a tax burden that's allocated in the federal budget every year to cover these Pell Grants, federal loans, and financial aid. Those tax dollars allow the federal government to be the lenders of federal student loans. So no tax dollars are spent forgiving the existing loans. Previous taxes were already spent creating these loans, and future taxes will go towards future loans, just as they always have. In other words, this has no effect on the American taxpayers' tax rates. Let's say I get a $100 bill as a birthday gift. Then I loan you that $100 bill. A day later, I tell you, oh, it's all cool. You don't need to pay me back. That loan is over. There is no involvement for the person who originally gifted me the $100 bill originally. They don't need to give me another $100 bill for the same birthday. Maybe future birthdays, and maybe they've done it in past birthdays, but not for the same birthday. Now you may be wondering, are you saying that the money that is used to repay these loans and the fact that that money won't be repaid now won't impact anything? Well, while it won't affect the American taxpayer or the federal budget, it will increase the deficit. Because student loan repayments are too variable and fluctuating, like the possibility of mispayments and defaulted loans. It isn't a reliable source of funding for the federal budget, and it's instead used towards the federal debt. And while most deficit hawks have cried wolf about increasing the deficit for decades with no prediction of theirs coming true, it is a real concern for many people. Luckily, the IRA, or Inflation Reduction Act, that many conservatives that are getting mad about, this raising the deficit, opposed, actually reduced the deficit enough to offset the roughly $300 billion increase from loan forgiveness. Enough to actually leave us with a slightly lower deficit than before the IRA, according to Goldman Sachs economists. So is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis or any of these classist schmucks right when they say that a trucker will be paying back the loans of a PhD in gender studies? Wow, nailing all the talking points there. White-collar worker pays for elitist, blue-haired SJW. Well, not a single part of it is based in reality, because as we already stated, no one is paying back these loans in taxes. They already paid for them years ago, and fun fact, odds are that that trucker is in support of debt relief. A good chunk of borrowers have loans and no degrees, which may lead to a career in something like trucking. They may also have a spouse or a child with loans, and a majority of people without loans still support student debt relief. And this isn't the Joe Brandon administration buying votes like CPAC buys local election votes with hundreds of millions of dollars in ad spending. It's passing wildly popular policy, which of course will lead to votes. It's what government is supposed to do. So with all the people saying that they don't want to pay for other people's colleges, did they not realize they've already been doing it their entire tax-paying adult lives? I mean, the only way to stop that in its entirety is to stop all federal financial aid, like loans, Pell Grants, and even the GI Bill. Is that what they want? I mean, I don't know. Now, there are plenty of other points I could go over on why opposing talking points are ridiculous and reduced down to a desire to maintain class-based inequality, even if you yourself are a wage cuck who sees yourself not as working class, but a currently embarrassed future billionaire. The fact that for many of these fossils that are against the student debt relief, the cost of college back when they attended was roughly under $1,000 for an entire degree. Or maybe their parents paid for their loans. Or maybe they benefited from their own non-federal student loan aid, like the GI Bill or unemployment or even government housing or otherwise. But at the end of the day, you have to be one incompassionate soul suck to see tens of millions of people's lives get better and hate on that. Go ask someone who won't be saddled with a lifetime of debt with crippling interest how they feel about this loan forgiveness and see just how out of touch you are. I mean, me personally, I was fortunate enough to have a very forward-thinking great-grandparent leave me enough money to pay over $100,000 in out-of-state tuition and fees to go to LSU.
Go Tigers!
I still don't even have a degree yet. And spending all that money made me poor and literally in a position that makes me currently qualify for Pell Grants. And yet, with no student loans myself, I love this move. Honestly, I wish it went even further by eliminating all $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. Remember, the US government spent over $6.5 trillion in Iraq and Afghanistan since 2001. That's all taxpayer funding as well. So that's the video. I mean, it's actually a good time right now. I mean, this doesn't solve everything. Another provision that is probably one of the biggest ones in here for future borrowers is the income-based repayment cap at 5%, and the government picking up a lot of slack on the interest rates there, so you don't, pay 20K and still have that 20K made up in interest you still owe. I mean, there's a lot of details that go into that. I am not prepared to do an entire video on that because numbers are not my favorite. With this solid move, while still could be better, the IRA, which was still flawed, but is a good step, and the honestly excellent move of finally ripping off the band-aid that is the Afghanistan exit. If Dark Brandon can legalize marijuana next, he'll straight up leapfrog pretty much every contemporary president since FDR. But anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more, and as always, value yourself.
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?